historical story and a current one that basically begins in 1994, long before you were born. So in 1994, the United States government decided to institute a policy called prevention through deterrence. And the idea was that to deter people from coming to the United States without documents, as people were starting more and more to do in the middle and late 90s. What the government decided to do was to close off very tightly the urban and populated areas along the U.S.-Mexico border. They did this with walls, with vehicle barriers, and with personnel, also with technology that they would set up in San Diego, Nogales, El Paso, all the major areas where people normally cross, and crossed with relative safety. If they could get across the line or the border or the river, they would come into another urban area, people would be there, and they would survive their crossing. So the idea was to deter immigration, which they knew was going to be more and more and more after the NAFTA agreement went into effect, that they would, as I said, close off the urban areas, and which meant that the only ways that people could enter into the country were to pass through areas outside the urban centers, which were wilderness areas, in mostly desert. Certainly in southern Arizona, really, really desolate areas. It's fine for us to take an afternoon or even a weekend hike, but we all know what it's like in our desert here, especially if you're unfamiliar with it, especially if you're traveling at night, especially if you're traveling with little water. You can only carry so much water. So they knew that what they were doing was forcing people to try to cross in very inhospitable areas. And they said, well, unfortunately, what will happen is that people are going to die. And they acknowledged that people would die. They hoped that not too many would die, but that it would serve as a deterrence to other people. Word would get back to the villages and towns and cities of Mexico and Central America that it wasn't worth it, that you were risking your life to cross the Arizona desert, for example. And so the government was sure that what was going to happen was that they would be able to prevent this undocumented immigration by using the desert as a deterrence. And basically the idea is using the desert as a weapon, as a way of causing death. And so this is what we mean when we say that the policy itself of using the desert as a weapon is unacceptable. Nation states have boundaries. As long as there are nation states, there will probably be borders and boundaries and immigration and rules about immigration and so on. That may be. It's not a perfect world. We're not all living as if we all really live on the same planet. But what groups like ours are insisting is that the way to enforce immigration, it is never legitimate to enforce immigration by killing people. That there have to be better ways to enforce your immigration laws than by killing them. And that is what the prevention through deterrence policy was designed to do and still does. It started in 1994, but it's still fully in effect today. It's still the U.S. government policy, prevention through deterrence. We make the crossing as dangerous and as potentially lethal as possible and as unpleasant every step of the way in order to deter other people from coming. And that's the only policy we have in place. And so, yes, desert as weapon, absolutely. this tiny little town of 700 people have given out a lot of aid over the years, and oftentimes they were afraid to do it because they thought it was something illegal, but it's not. And so we started the office to help people understand that giving humanitarian aid is never a crime, and that we would be there to help them do it, provide Spanish language assistance, medical supplies, food supplies, clothing, just whatever is needed for folks. So that's what I do, that's what all of the volunteers here do.
Hay algo importante que hay aquí, que siempre yo se lo digo a las personas que escuchan lo que yo tengo que decir, y es una cosa muy clara. Dice: el propósito de este proyecto y campaña no es promover cruzar la frontera de manera ilegal, sino avisarle de los riesgos y peligros que hay al cruzar. Esta información tiene que ver con la frontera entre Estados Unidos y México. Y esto es lo que entregamos a ellos, y la gente se sienta para escuchar, porque es importante que escuchen riesgos y peligros en el desierto. Muchas personas nunca han venido a Estados Unidos, no tienen idea de lo que está pasando, no saben qué va a pasar en el desierto cuando ellos tratan de cruzar, no conocen, nunca lo han hecho. Y entonces mi deseo es informarles de que primeramente hay muchísima vigilancia, que tienen muy poca chance de llegar a donde van. Otra cosa es de que hay muchos peligros por el desierto, diferentes, explico, hasta una víbora picadora venenosa, o se te termina el agua, se te termina la comida, y tú tienes que caminar muchísimos días por la razón de que estamos rodeados de retenes en todas las carreteras, y tú la única manera que puedes llegar a donde está pues el freeway es caminando. Entonces solamente son tus pies que te van a llevar si tú tienes la energía, la fortaleza. Entonces eso es lo más importante para mí, siempre decirles esto. También es de que hay un número importante, el 911, en caso que un compañero o compañera necesita rescate, está en peligro su vida, pueden llamar, porque pues, es el único número que va a poder localizar donde ellos se encuentran en el desierto. Entonces todo eso es bien importante, explicarles que cómo prevenir las ampollas, porque las ampollas, aunque parece que eso no es una herida grave, es muy grave. Ayer miramos un joven solamente de 16 años con sus pies llenos de ampolla. Él no podía caminar, nada, y sus ampollas estaban infectadas. Entonces esto puede ser muy, muy peligroso si sucede a ellos en el desierto. Puedo explicar que traigan calcetines limpios, que cambien sus calcetines, que pongan maicena en sus pies, y todas estas cosas que para mí es lo más importante que yo les puedo dar, más que bolsas de pan o arroz o frijol o agua o cualquier otra cosita que yo llevo. Esto es más importante para mí, que ellos lo escuchen y lo aprendan. Y también hay un número de hotline para que ellos pueden llamar tal vez antes de llamar a 911 si la situación no es muy crítica. Y tenemos que sentarnos y explicar a ellos. Así es de que me inspira la gente, es gente con mucho respeto, que se sienta y escucha, quiere saber. Algunos se quedan sorprendidos de lo que yo digo, y yo digo, pues he vivido más de 30 años en esta frontera, y yo sé que ha cambiado mucho la situación durante los años, sobre todo después del muro y todo esto, la vigilancia que hay ahora más, todo ha cambiado. Y tengo que decirles la verdad, esto es muy peligroso, y tu deseo de ir a Estados Unidos se puede convertir en una pesadilla, y que tal vez no la hagas. Así que, como siempre también les digo, lo más importante es tu vida, cuidar tu vida. Mientras hay vida, hay una oportunidad. Si tú pierdes tu vida, ya no habrá otra oportunidad. Y solamente con vida puedes ayudar a tu familia y a ti. Entonces, como dije, esto es más importante para mí que todo lo demás que yo hago.
My organization was started back in about 2010 because at that time, well, a couple of years prior, I was in the construction field, and the media and the government was kept saying, you know, there are people coming to do jobs that Americans won't do, and that the border was safe and secure. So those were the two biggest lies that I was hearing on the television all the time, because being in construction, up in Phoenix I was building high-rises, and I would run 150-man crews. And out of the 150-man crews, 75% of them couldn't speak English, so I had to have an interpreter with me. And so once a week we would do Monday mornings safety meetings, and I get my foremen together and then ask them, how many guys are you missing? And they go, I'm missing 2, I'm missing 3, I'm missing, so we'd have to get more people in to cover those spots. And I asked what happened, and it was E-Verify caught them. I said, oh, okay. So they were here illegally, but working. And but the interesting thing is, about 3 weeks later, the same guys would show up on the job, and I would ask my interpreter, ask him what the heck is going on here, you know, because I thought he got caught. And so he'd ask him, and he says, yeah, I just went out and bought a new Social Security card and a new ID, and it'll take him about 3 more months to catch me again. So I was under the impression, which I'm pretty sure most Americans are, that E-Verify, once they found out you were here illegally working, that they would deport you, but they don't. They just say, hey, it's okay if you hang out here, but you can't work. So the system was messed up. And then in 2008, when the housing market crashed and the economy went south, I went from making $80,000 a year to $12,000 a year overnight. All construction shut down, and so I went on unemployment. And so I decided to see if the second lie was true that I was hearing, which is that it's safe and secure. So I came down here, and once I got down to the border and saw what was the real fence, I was just, you got to be kidding me. And so I started coming down on the weekends, and then in 2010 I sold everything. I sold 3 Harley Davidsons. I had a Harley Davidson shop with all the tools and everything. I sold all that. I sold the house, sold everything, and moved down here. And so I've been down here since 2010. And that's how Arizona Border Recon got started. Here, all the way to the front,
Yeah.
is gear that goes into the mountains. Not all the time, but this here is a portable stretcher, solar panel.
So you like set up solar panels right out there for electricity?
Yeah, you have to. Battery chargers for the radios, laptops, medical gear, more medical gear. This is all spare medical. This one here, we could even do surgery if we wanted to out there with that thing. We have oxygen, food,
All this is food, huh?
coolers, laptops, handheld radios, base station radios, more water. This is all the kitchen and the sleep gear. And you have to bring your own shade out, so this is all shade. And a 25-foot portable radio tower, so we get better reception.
Oh, cool. So you have your antenna out there.
Yeah.
That's a really odd utensil.
Oh, it's just like a spoon.
Gotta eat. These things are great out there. Cup of noodles, got a ton of them.
You got all your camping stuff. up
Yeah, I
there.
have extra tents and sleeping bags and everything because of media.
I run the Sportsman's Club in Nogales High School, so we go out and hike and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've got extra tents and everything else for media and bags because they'll want to come out and some of them will do 3 and 4 days out with us and oh no, it's nah, don't worry about it, I'll charge you for it. When it first started, it was to I was upset about all the illegals coming in, but the guys that I was working with were hard workers and everything else. They were just doing it the wrong way. So I came down to help stop the illegal immigration. But the longer I stayed down here, the more I started finding out about the cartels on the other side. And so basically we went and shifted from illegal immigrations to going after all the drugs coming through and going after the cartel scout locations and things like that. So, but even if we do still see illegals coming through, we still call Border Patrol because we have a process to immigrate here, and sneaking in the back door is not the right way, so we still will turn you in. It's a huge task out here because there's, I mean, the wall or the fence over in Nogales probably only goes about 2 miles west of Nogales and then it stops. And the next time it starts again is in Sassabee, which is probably about 50 miles. So in between Nogales and Sassabee there is no fence. And then the fence only goes for 3 miles in Sassabee, and then stops again, and then starts again about another 50 or so miles to the west. So there's huge areas where there is no border. No fence, no nothing. I mean, the fence that's out there will keep cows and horses out, but that's about it.
There's no way in or out of this tiny little town without going through a Border Patrol checkpoint. And that means anytime you go to the doctor or the grocery store or the kids go to school, you have to go through a Border Patrol checkpoint, which most of the United States can't even imagine what that is like, because it just doesn't exist anywhere else except in these rural communities near the border. Most people in the United States would object to just having a DUI checkpoint on New Year's Eve. Well, it's my civil rights, you know, I mean, why are you stopping me? I haven't done anything wrong. Well, we do that every day. The Border Patrol checkpoint here has been here for 10 years now. It was originally started, the rationale was it's a tactical and temporary Border Patrol checkpoint, okay? Well, 10 years later, it's still there, 24/7, still doing its job, of supposedly apprehending undocumented people and interdicting drugs or other contraband articles. To our knowledge, few, if any, people have ever been apprehended in those 10 years, and neither has very much, if any, drugs been interdicted. But everybody is affected in this community. The major effect of the Border Patrol checkpoint is not so much to deter any criminality, but to put the local population under surveillance and to intimidate us. We are suspect, we are guilty until proven innocent. And so even the children grow up knowing that. They go to school on the school bus every morning, from here to Sobri School in Amato, or from here to Sawarita School, and for high school, and they, every day of their lives, they go through a military checkpoint where armed men can board their school bus and ask questions, or look, or just be there.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Where you come from again?
We're U.S. citizens.
Oh, you come from the Boys Ranch? Or?
Yeah. No. Arivaca humanitarian.
Adolf.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
School
Great.
project.
So, okay, great, awesome. And all the kids are all U.S. citizens? Are they all minors?
We're from Nogales High School. Yes, we're U.S. citizens.
Okay, great, awesome. Don't see too many bands like this, so that's fascinating.
You always ask like where people are going and where they're coming from.
Yeah, when I'm trying to figure out if they.
Is that like a normal question that you ask them?
Yeah.
Because I thought you were only allowed to ask about their immigration
No, I can actually
status.
ask any question I want. Yeah.
You just have that power.
It's not really a power; it's just a question.
Oh, right on. Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate
You're all
that.
U.S. citizens, though?
Yes, we are.
And you have a good day.
Yeah.
I would like to speak to that, maybe on the kind of like the opposite of that, and it does bother me. I have rarely been questioned as I go through that checkpoint, and that's because I'm fair skinned, and I'm white. I look white, and so there they just don't ask me those questions. And at first, and again, here's a confession. At first, without being educated and having a sense of how things really are, I kind of felt good about that. Now I don't, because there are others that I personally know that get questioned daily. And they're the same people driving the same vehicle, coming across that checkpoint daily, and they get harassed. And just to be asked the question, where have you been and where are you going? Shocks me. I mean, I grew up, I'm old enough to know that those things would have never been thought of years ago. And here we are in America, we're asking this question, where have you been and where are you going? Sometimes I want to ask them, where the heck have you been? Where are you going? I mean, that's kind of how it used to be, and that's how it should be. But there's this sense of entitlement and power that the Border Patrol has that is, I think it's really, really scary.
forget which president it was. I think it was Reagan. He allowed 30,000 amnesty, or 300,000, and that gave the wrong signal to everyone else, and so they started flocking across. When I first started down here, the groups were huge. I mean, 100 to 300 people in a group. And you would see, when you're sitting on a hill, this quarter mile, half long mile string of people coming up and over the mountains. And you would call Border Patrol and say, hey, bring everything you got. And they go, okay. So they'd send one guy out with one truck, and he'd show up, and they go, well, yeah, I pointed out, and he'd get on the radio and goes, bring everything we got. I mean, it was huge. That was the days that we would see some women and children in with the groups. It kept up for a few years, and then the groups started dropping off in size, and then they averaged 20 to 40. And the 20 to 40 went all the way up until about, my cameras showed it right around October of last year, just before the elections. They dropped off from 20 to 40 in a group to 6 to 8. I don't know why, but and it stayed like that until probably 6 months ago. And now the 6 to 8, my cameras are showing again where the groups are climbing back up to 20 to 40 again. And so I watched the patterns, and but the interesting thing is, in my area, the patterns is what used to be nothing but illegal immigration, or I would say 85% illegal immigration and 15% drugs, has now flipped. It's now 85% drugs and 15% illegal immigration. So the cartels have decided that this area, because it's so remote and so rugged, is the best spot to get dope through.
They said, what we're going to do is we're going to put an aid station, a permanent station in the desert, just temporary with tents and things like that, but the best we can muster out here near Arivaca, because Arivaca was and still is a major corridor for people walking. And so in 2004, No More Deaths set up its camp on the property of a wonderful woman named Bird Baylor, a resident of Arivaca, a rather famous children's author. Librarian always gets the plug in here, but she made her land available, and No More Deaths has been operating wonderfully with volunteers from all over the country and the world, doing desert aid now since 2004. I wish I could say that they're doing it today, because they're not. A couple of months ago, early in this summer of 2017, the No More Deaths camp, which had been pretty much left alone by the Border Patrol all these years, tried to intimidate a bit, but never, made major disruption of the camp. They raided the camp and arrested 8 migrants, 8 patients who were patients at the camp, arrested them, took them away to detention. We were hoping that it was just some sort of blip on the radar, and that, for some reason people got their signals crossed, and that things might go back to the way they had been for years, with just kind of a gentleman's agreement between Border Patrol and the humanitarian aid people, that this is a humanitarian aid station. Law enforcement should not be monitoring or surveilling or raiding it, okay? Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Just a few weeks later, Border Patrol came back again and ended up arresting and then deporting 4 other people. So at that point, we realized, No More Deaf People, and those of us in other aid groups realized that the camp was not safe. So the camp is still there. People are not evacuated to camp. It's not a safe place. So other people in need have to find other ways of being cared for, which basically falls on the local community here in Arivaca, which makes our work more important these days, busier, and more difficult.
Out here in this beautiful desert. I mean, this place is so beautiful. Our deserts in southern Arizona have been a part of my life since I was a child, and it's just a wonderful place. But now we have this place is filled with death and suffering. And it's horrible.